You ever hear one of those ancient chants and just wonder, what does that even mean? Well, today we're going to crack one open. It's this powerful formula, really, for understanding how everything works. We're going to take this mysterious sounding phrase and turn it into something super clear, something you can actually use. So let's just jump right in.
All right, so we're starting with this, well, it's kind of like a puzzle. It comes from the ancient language of Pali. And I know it might look a little intimidating at first glance, but you got to stick with me here because what it reveals is, wow, it's actually so simple and beautiful. Okay, listen to this. Imasma sati idam hoti. Hear that? It's got this cool rhythm to it, right? It feels like there's a kind of logic just locked inside the sound. So the big question is, what on earth do these old words mean for us right now? It means when this is, that is. Yep, that's it. So simple, right? All that ancient mystery, and it just boils down to this really basic, fundamental observation about, well, reality. It's just saying that one thing exists because another thing exists. They're connected.
Okay, so that little phrase, that's actually just part one of a four-part system, really. And when you put them all together, they create this complete logical framework. It's like a set of laws for watching how things pop into existence and how they disappear.
So let's start with the foundation, the one we just looked at. Imasmin sati idam hoti. This is what we can call the law of presence. It's a super direct statement about how things are conditional. Think about it. If you've got a seed, you've got the potential for a tree. You see a dark cloud, you've got the potential for rain. The presence of one thing points to the presence of another. Simple as that.
Okay, next up, part two, ima saparada idam upajadi. The key idea here is all about arising, things actually coming into being. And this is the law of arising. You can think of it as the active version of that first law. It's not just that things happen to exist at the same time. No, it's that the arising of one thing actively causes another thing to arise. So the seed doesn't just exist with the seedling. The sprouting of the seed is what causes the seedling to pop up.
All right, now let's flip it. Let's look at the other side of the coin. Part 3, Imasmin asati idam nohoti. You can probably guess where this is headed, right? It's the total opposite of that first law.
This one's the law of absence. When this is not, that is not. See? It's a perfect mirror image. If you take away the condition, the result disappears too. No seed, no tree, no cloud, no rain. It really is that straightforward.
And that brings us to the last piece of this puzzle, part 4. Imasa nirodha idam nirujati. And this one is all about ceasing, things coming to an end.
So this is the law of ceasing. And just like before, this is the active version of the law of absence. Because of the ceasing of this ceases. When you actively get rid of the cause, the effect goes away too. It's like when a fire runs out of wood, the heat, it just stops.
So when you lay all 4 parts out together like this, you can really see the beautiful symmetry, can't you? You've got presence and arising on one side, and then absence and ceasing on the other. It's this complete kind of rhythmic and just perfectly logical way to see how things are.
Now, this whole 4-part formula, it isn't just some random observation. It's actually a huge deal in Buddhist philosophy. And of course, it has a proper name. It's called Idapachaya Tattva. That basically translates to the universal law of conditionality. But you've probably heard it in English as dependent origination. And that's the core idea right there. Nothing, and I mean nothing, exists all by itself. Everything comes into being because it depends on something else. And you know what's cool? As deep as that sounds, we can actually simplify it even more. This whole 4-part system really just boils down to 2 basic concepts. The entire thing can be broken down into just 2 players. You've got the cause, and then you have the effect that arises from the cause. That's it. That's the whole dynamic in a nutshell. So this shows us the positive side of things, right? It combines those first 2 laws we talked about. If the cause exists, the effect is going to exist too. It's pretty much a guarantee. And here's the really important part. This whole thing works perfectly in reverse. That's the last 2 laws combined. If you can get the cause to stop existing, then the effect that comes from it will also stop. And that isn't just some abstract idea. It's a blueprint for actually changing things. And really, that's the key. This whole principle isn't just some philosophical concept you're supposed to memorize. It's a tool. It's a practical way to investigate things, a lens you can use to look at the world and understand it a whole lot better. It really invites you to just be an observer, to start asking questions all the time. Like, okay, because what exists, does this exist? Or because what just arose, did this other thing arise? You start training your mind to see all these connections that were hidden before.
And just as important, you can flip it around to solve problems. Ask, because what is absent, is this other thing also absent? Or because what ceased, did this also cease? This is where it becomes a super powerful tool for making real change.
So if you take away one thing from all this, it's this. Everything is connected. Nothing exists by itself. Causes create effects. And, this is the big one, if you remove a cause, you remove its effect. This isn't just something to believe in. It's a practical tool you can use to observe and maybe even change your world.
So I'll leave you with this question. Try looking at your own life with this idea in mind. What's one cause in your life that, if it just stopped, would cause an effect you don't want to stop, right along with it? It's a powerful thing to think about.